I've been thinking a lot lately about what the world needs. Because I'm part of the world, and you're part of the world, and we're all in a world of hurt right now, aren't we? But what's gonna make that better? I think I found out now what the world needs. Do you know what the world needs? The world needs now is another wrestling podcast. Yeah. What the world needs now is another wrestling podcast. That's right. What the world needs now is another wrestling podcast. Yeah. What the world needs now is another wrestling podcast. It's WTWNNIAWP for short. That's WTWNNIAWP for short. If you're not into the whole brevity thing, you could just say what the world needs now is another wrestling podcast. It's up to you. But it's WTWNNIAWP for short. What the world needs now is another wrestling podcast. Yeah. What the world needs now is another wrestling podcast. Every day. What the world needs now is another wrestling podcast. Yeah. The world needs now is another wrestling podcast. Clearly. Hi everybody, welcome back to the relaunch of What the World Needs Now is Another Wrestling Podcast, or WTWNNIAWP for short. That's the Championship Wrestling Production. CWP is me. Hi, I'm Mick. Slick Mick.
And I am the ever not so slick Rev. Someone needs to be a dumpster fire around here, and well, you know what? Them shoes fit.
Your dumpster fire burns bright in the night, and it is a beacon of hope to the rest of us.
Wow. If I'm a beacon of hope, y'all in trouble. But anyway.
Yeah, so what we're here to do tonight is very recently AEW held their 2024 edition of the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And I have not watched it because I'm an anarchist, but I'm going to go ahead and do a review of it anyway. Rev, you have watched it, right?
Oh, yeah. Watched it last night, and then I went and, as I was doing my notes, I rewatched some highlights of it so I can get it fresh in my mind. So, I have thoughts.
Professionalism, you has it, for sure. The main card here with Trio's title match. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they unify the ROH belts and the AEW Trios belts recently?
Yes. One of the good things about this pay-per-view is that there was a definitive separation between ROH and AEW. Yes, right now, the Bang Bang Gang, which is Bullet Club Gold, which is, at the moment, Jay White, and the Guns, Austin, and the other one.
So let's see, that's the Sons of Ass and the world's most underutilized wrestler.
Oh, God, they have done Jay White dirty.
God damn. Yeah, I could do a whole show about how much I hate their treatment of Jay White in AEW. But I digress.
Oh, yeah. Now that script's getting written. This match actually showed what Jay White could do because you had him opposite of Pac and the Lucha Bros. So the Ass Boys.
Ass Boys!
I just love saying that name. Because they're ass.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. While I love them for being the annoying little shits for the lower mid card, they actually work really well together and they know how to sell. So I give them credit for that.
Yeah.
And Jay White and Pac, oh yeah. It's all about the slimiest person in the ring versus the meanest person in the ring. And we actually had a really good return. Juice Robinson came back, so the juice is loose.
Oh, shit.
which made me feel better because I really feel like the Bang Bang Gang. God, I feel so weird saying that. The Bang Bang Gang with the Ass Boys. I'm like, what type of content are we making?
There's a fine line. That's all I'm saying. A fine line.
Yes, there is. I really felt like Bullet Club Gold has been lacking because of Juice Robinson not being there. The Gun Club are great. I think they're fun. They have a lot to grow into, and I'd like to see Austin go single. I think he's the standout there. And Jay White, the problem is he's not comedy. He can do comedy. He has charisma. He should be a snake. He should be a Randy Orton type character.
Yeah.
Someone you do not turn your back on, and they haven't shown that yet. They're kind of showing his hunger again. So once they rehab him, he'll be great. Good match. Shows the love of a pack. Bullet Club needs.
Like I said, I'm out of the loop here. Who were the champions going in, and did they retain?
Yeah. The champions were Bullet Club Gold or the Bang Bang Gang, and they did retain.
Okay.
Due to shenanigans, because of Juice Robinson, because Bullet Club.
Naturally. Yeah, I did notice they've more or less officially renamed them from the Bullet Club Gold to the gang, not the Gang Bang Gang. That's a whole different. See, this is stupid. God damn it, Tony Khan! You got me talking about gang bangs and daddy ass. I'm just trying to make a good, honest wrestling podcast, okay? And over here, Tony Khan is just off his fucking rocker again. Anyway, though,
Jesus.
Yeah. So the Bang Bang Gang, therefore, is a dominant trios champions, as if that means something.
Yes, they have the AEW trios belts and the ROH trios belts, which means that they're just being held until their glory can be restored.
I'll give you my thoughts on trios matches, and I've said this before in like our group chats and things like that, but I just kind of want to get this out there on the podcast. I would love to see a promoter brave enough to not have tag belts and only have trios belts. Because I feel like a lot of the problem with trios belts is that you've already got tag team champions and you've already got your singles champions, and then you're going to give 3 more guys belts and have them feud with 3 more guys. It's just you're spreading, no matter what, you're going to spread your roster too thin. And even if you have enough people to fill this out, someone's going to get injured, and any one injury in any part of this could derail all the plans that you have for it. So, I don't know. To me, it feels like if you really wanted to change the game and bring something new and different into it, then only have the trios belts. Fuck the tag belts if you're going to go that far.
Or go full bore with the trios belts and make it the faction championship belt. Your faction gets to pick 3 people to defend that belt using the Freebird rule. New Day do it too.
Yep.
And this way, you always get a different lineup. It adds a little bit more to it, and especially for like the more sports-oriented, like AEW, who is all about the factions nowadays.
I don't know. I think we both are more or less on the same page here. Trios belts sound good on paper, but in practicality, they just don't really come out that well.
It's the Who's the Top Grandpa belt.
Yeah, exactly. All right, speaking of grandpas, next match has Chris Jericho and Katsuyori Shibata and their adopted son Hook, all fighting for the FTW title, which is currently held by Chris Goddamn Jericho for some reason. I mean, I thought it was weird enough when Chris Jericho held the Ring of Honor world title. But then to see Chris Jericho with Taz's belt is just too much for my brain to really comprehend. The only thing I really know about this match is that I saw a couple GIFs from it, and like they were having trouble. Chris Jericho was having a lot of trouble figuring out how to safely put the guy with brain damage through a table, is what I remember. I don't know. Maybe things have picked up, but I don't see what Hook is gaining from the Jericho Association. Hook versus Shibata? That's a match. Hook versus Jericho? Jericho versus Shibata? That's a farce.
I'm going to start this off right now by just saying simply that I do consider Chris Jericho to be one of the greats because of his track record. However, motherfucker had go home heat, and this match proved it to me. However, he also proved something else to me, and it made me even angrier.
Oh?
Hook and Shibata, when they got into it, it was great. it was like watching the best of New Japan with, like Inoki was beaming from heaven watching this, watching these two go at it. And then Jericho came out and went going, this is like an ECW match, right? And that's when we got the bump on the dice because he brought out a bag of dice because we're in Vegas.
Of course.
Dumped it all the ring. There was one scene that I did appreciate, which is Hook and Shibata just hucking dice at Chris Jericho's face.
Okay, I'm into that.
Because I think that they were just living as the crowd.
Right.
And yes, throughout the entire thing, it's go home, retire.
Please retire.
Every time he does something good. This was, and again, it was Jericho wins through smoke and mirrors, interference by both Big Bill, because for some reason Big Bill's isn't a learning tree.
The fuck is he going to learn from? Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. But one, match shouldn't have happened. It was a fun match. I actually enjoyed it. And Jericho is doing everything he should be doing, and that's why I hate him. Because he's leaning into the heat like he should do it. It's like, motherfucker.
I mean, you should do at this point, but like,
yeah, god
damn, I think Heather made a good point a little while ago when I'm going to rest with Joseph Monticello, a YouTuber. He put out a goddamned 2-hour video about why Jericho is not the greatest of all time. First of all, I'm just astounded by and I aspire to that level of pettiness. That is impressive to me.
Right? I mean, I recorded a 10-minute rant after the Dynasty thing. And I promptly lost it somewhere because I was just so upset by it.
Yeah, but he's got like point by point and like chapters. It's like, okay, here's why his wrestling is not great. Here's why his promos are not as good as you think they are. Here's why I'm like, god damn, just fucking eviscerated this dude. And, the point, though, that he did make at one point in the video was he had a stretch of years there when he was pretty near the top of the wrestling world and was good at what he did. And I feel like if he would have retired in 2018, 2019, after the Painmaker run that he did in New Japan, people would be clamoring for more. They'd be wanting Jericho. But because he's just stuck around, like this motherfucker will not go away, you have no choice but to get sick of him because, like, oh my god, he can only do so much athletically, and like his promos were really, honestly, never that great to begin with. They just had a few good catchphrases. And so now it's just the point where, like, God, I just want you to leave because I'm sick of looking at you.
Yeah, go home so I can miss you.
Yeah. I did think his big contribution to his big strength here is being a meme lord. Literally, like he taps into whatever the current zeitgeist is, like a little bit of the bubbly or fucking, all these different catchphrases that you can just throw out. And somehow, for some reason, he has the talent to pick the ones that are over. Like, the learning tree should not be getting over, and yet somehow it is, just because that is his one major talent.
Well, we started calling it the Jericho Vortex with how he just glomps onto new talent, takes all their rocket fuel off, and then uses it for himself, and call that the Jericho Vortex, and then he trademarked it himself.
I know, what a douche.
And I'm like going, good on you, though. Like, fuck, that's smart.
Right. Yeah, part of me really wants to be happy because, like, okay, that's good shit right there, pal. But I can't really be happy for him because he still won't go away.
Do you understand why I'm frustrated about this?
Yeah! That is the Jericho paradox.
Yes. God.
There's this next trademark he's going to file for.
Yeah. Oh, God, let's hope he doesn't watch this.
Right?